Good morning, Valentine.
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
sorry.
Yeah, it's the man of the hour.
She meant it for me, but
Right,
she called your
exactly.
name
She was
instead.
being polite to me.
All right.
All right, so the markets Friday was up by 1.5%. MTN was our top gainer. Top loser, I believe, was Forte Oil, which was down by 10%. MTN was up by 10%. 2 days now, Thursday, Friday, MTN has been up by about 20%. Stock is hot. It's hot. I mean, we actually have a story on that. I think it's in Business Day where people are complaining about the liquidity of the stock because nobody can get their hands on it. Neither can I. Have tried. But we do want to touch on this very quick story here with Google pulling or threatening, saying that they're going to pull their Android license from Huawei. I just saw this last night, and it seems like this is a fallout of this trade war that's going on between the United States and
China.
China. I know. I think this could be devastating for Huawei owners when it comes to software updates and so on. Olamide, what are your thoughts on this story?
Well, like you said earlier, he has a lot. It has more to do with the war that's been going on between US
Trade
and
war.
China.
Don't say
The
war.
trade war that has been going on between US and China. Today you feel like things are. You're very optimistic that things are being settled, and then dear President Trump wakes up the next day and then something comes up again. So hence the reason why Google says it's suspending its business with Huawei for the time being. And what that means is so for previous owners of the phones would actually still have access to Google apps, things like Play Store and all of that. But the ones the newly produced phones will actually not have access, which might be an issue for them, going forward. Do China, I mean, these companies, Chinese companies they're very creative, and it's possible they already have a backup plan. I'm really positive because as far as technology is concerned for them, they are pretty good with it, and I think getting out of it might not. It will be difficult at first, but I don't think it will be that
For the global
bad
market.
for the global
But
market.
they might
Their
adapt.
major, I mean, if you read different things on the media, their major market isn't even US. Just that they source a lot of their inputs from US. The
Yes.
major market, you have the likes of Europe, Middle East, and also.
And Asia.
I mean, it's a step back, but I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. Thanks for that update. So if you're a owner of a Huawei phone, don't panic yet. As far as that's concerned, we'll have to see how things pan out. But I mean, just to put this in perspective, last week we talked about the hack that happened to WhatsApp and how we told everybody please go and update your WhatsApp app on the Play Store. Theoretically, if something like this, was to affect owners, you wouldn't be able to update your apps or your Google, your Android software system on your phone, and so that could have consequences. But as Olamide has said, probably sees a positive outlook. So we'll see how that goes. Moving on to this agriculture, MTN. Yes. Excuse me, MTN. Of course, I mentioned it at the top of the show. So the stock's down 20%. Everybody wants this stock. You have the stock?
No.
Oh, okay.
I won.
Okay, you're putting your hands up here. Okay, everybody wants the stock. But there is a story in This Day. Concerns mount over possible share manipulation in MTN's NSE listing. And so This Day went into a few things here, talking about how there might be some mago involving the shares. But what do you think?
Well, it's a theory that's I mean, out of every rumor there's a bit of some sort of truth.
Yeah.
If you try to check what has happened so far, the company was listed on Thursday. It's gained how much? It's gained over 20% in 2 days, from 19 naira to 108. And you've literally not seen the public have access to it. That's the investing public. And going by NSE rules, normally 20%, any company listed on the premium board, should have about 20% of its share capital made available to the investing public.
Right.
Like you and me. So or about 40 billion value traded on the in the public, but what has happened so far is you've not seen so many people have access to it. Another thing that could actually bring up those rumors is also the fact that going by the rules, the preference shares that they have, you should actually be using part of your retained earnings to actually redeem your preference shares. So instead of that, MTN is coming out to say that they're getting about another 200 billion in loans, in debts, and they want to use that to redeem their preference shares. That literally, redeeming your preference shares is literally like a share buyback. So it literally reduces the shares that are still available.
Okay.
And this is, so if, like I said, the rule says 20% of your share capital, 20% of the 20 billion they actually listed is about 4 billion. And all that has traded so far since in the 2 days is just about less than 6 million that has actually traded. So,
right.
I mean, mean, there are tendencies for all those rumors to come up, being that a lot of people have not been able to access it, and it's a good investment. Company with ROE of almost 80%. It's
Right.
something anybody would
Now,
want
of
to
course,
go
for our
into.
listeners,
But
ROE is
ROE is return on
okay.
equity.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Thank you so much. So, but again, I'm actually not. I don't know. This day, I think they're taking some liberties there, but I just think it's there's a high demand. Yes, there's
Yeah,
just a really really. I've heard stories of people opening brokerage accounts. People are sending questions here on the show on Friday, Thursday,
Mhm.
asking how to open an account just because they wanted to get their hands on the shares. So,
Mhm.
again, and once again, it's listing by introduction, meaning there's no new shares being brought
Yes,
in.
it's,
Yeah,
it's previous
it's
shareholders that are
existing
just
shareholders that are doing it. So yeah, I don't really know this day they might be taking a few liberties. But
Yes.
messages.
Yes, we do. We have some Kufre for on WhatsApp. By the way, WhatsApp number 0809 4440981. Kufre says, "Hi Rotus. I read something about a class action suit against Jumia in the US. Could you explain if this is true and what it means?"
Okay, yeah, thank you, Kufi. So really quickly, the class action lawsuit is being brought forward by a law firm in the United States that is saying that shareholders who feel they've been affected by or rather negatively affected by what's been going on with Jumia in the United States with that report that came out from that company that was shorting them, if they feel that they are affected by what's happened with the listing of the stock, then some of the claims that have been brought against the company, they are jumping the gun essentially, Kufre, because America is litigation central. Anybody with a law firm can jump up on any reports and come out and bring out a class action lawsuit. The question is, what are you suing them for? Nothing actually has been proven at this point. Again, as we explained on the show, the company that brought out this report claiming that Jumia was doing fraudulent things is a company that shorts stocks. So they depend, or rather, they invest in stock prices falling and they capitalize on it. So that's pretty much it. But it's true, there is a class action lawsuit, but it's just being brought forward by a company that's trying to capitalize on the bad news with Jumia in the States. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And Benga Kamo says, "What do you think of the CBN governor's call for cheaper interest loans for critical areas of the economy? But I think we all need loans with lower interest rates. Hashtag lower."
Olamide, are we not critical members of this economy?
Yes,
Even Benga Kamu, is he not a critical member of the economy?
yes, very true. I mean, having low interest rates it's really important. But the fact is, I mean, despite the fact that they've reduced MPR and all of that, before it trickles down to the economy, I think it's really going to. It's just a
A
general
sound
story,
bite. Say it.
all
The
those things.
sound bite.
No. I mean, getting these things, filter down into the economy is pretty, I won't use his words, but similar
Look,
to what you just
do
said.
dear CBN governor.
What he said.
Do what they did in Kenya. I think
Uh-huh.
it was they capped rates. They actually told banks you cannot raise interest rates by a certain. I think they had to remove that cap after a while because it was negatively affecting the market. But they capped it. So if you really want to give us single digit interest rates, force the banks to do it. Now, of course, that's going against the market. Tough to do, but he's been calling for a single digit interest rate forever. It hasn't happened.
And Olufemi says, "Good morning. You started." Okay, thank you. He said you should make sure that you.
Oh yes. Olufemi, we're
Well,
fighting for 30 minutes. We're still fighting.
Uche from VI says, "So Huawei has always been working on their OS for 2 years. That's operating system for 2 years, and it's actually ready for a time like this. So I think we'll start to actually see them in the phones. 50% of their market is actually inside of China. So hopefully damage won't be too bad in the long run."
All right. Valentine, real quick, Olami, I think we're running out of time. Q1 GDP. Can you, in how many
Yeah,
words? How many
so
words does she have to it? Okay, summarize. What are you looking at with Q1 GDP?
so we're expecting the results. We're expecting Q1 GDP today. We expect a slowdown from what we saw last year. Full year last year we did about 1.9% in GDP, majorly from non-oil.
Mm-hmm.
For this quarter for Q1 2019, we still expect non-oil to be the major driver. Oil will still contract because there was a high base last year for the oil sector, about 2 million barrels.
Okay.
Then we already know, based on the restrictions we had, the OPEC cap this year. So based on OPEC's numbers, we've not done up to 2 million barrels. So you can expect a contraction for the oil. For the non-oil, however, services will still remain positive, though not as strong as what we had before. Agriculture, same thing. Would remain positive too.
Okay,
But you
okay.
also know there are concerns on security. Just similar to the write-up this person,
Right.
actually gave here being that agriculture is 30% of your GDP, but as much as you're giving anchor borrowers loan and you're giving a lot of fertilizers, the fact remains that a lot of these farmers are actually moving out due to insecurity.
Mm.
And for instance, inflation that was released on Friday, we actually saw food inflation, tick up for the first time
Right.
in a very long period of time, and
Mm.
that's just basically due to the fact that there's been insecurity. So these farmers that you claim you've given them single digits loan, you've given them fertilizers, a lot of them are running from where the farms are available just due to the fact that they're unable to access their lands, in peace and just plant and have their harvest. A lot of farmlands are being burnt and all of that. So
Right.
even if you're focusing on agriculture, it's beyond the fertilizers and it's beyond the raw material, the single digit loan you're making available. You need to ensure that the security there, or else you still see that play out for the rest of the year. Agriculture doing less than 3% that it has always done.
Mm.
Plus this sector, as much as you focused on it, is done in the past, it's done about 6%, 7%. I've been on 3% for a long time,
Right.
despite your
All the pumping of the money.
so it tells you need to do more. And beyond agriculture, services is a really big part of it, contributes a very large part of your GDP. It's about 30%, and the focus there is pretty limited. You're not
Right.
seeing so much focus on that space. And this is the thing, if you've seen positive, you've seen GDP remain positive for a while, but you've not seen your investors jump on the bandwagon, jump on the Nigerian market. So it just tells you that they need more policies in all of these sectors that they see it as sensitive to your economy to grow. Once that comes in, you can see the investors come in relative to you doing the short-term things where you have your exchange rate being, held artificially and
Yes,
all of
yes,
that,
yes.
that kind of stuff. So
Interesting.
But-
So we expect a slowdown.
yeah, we expect a slowdown. So we're expecting like 1.3% for GDP.
All right. So
All
we'll
right.
look at that. We'll analyze it tomorrow. See how it goes.
Somebody wants to know, that's Ibrahim wants to know Olamide's Twitter handle.
Yeah. See, what's your Twitter? Olami doesn't tweet. So.
Adebobwe Olami.
See, look at that. She doesn't even tweet. Look, I'll tweet our handle on the Smooth FM handle. Just follow Smooth FM at Smooth91 FM. I'll tweet her handle and you can follow her on there as well. She's too serious. She focuses only on the economy. Doesn't have time to tweet. So
That's
why
kind of
she-
seriousness we need. In the meantime, enjoy some music. Remember, at 7:30, we'll bring you the detailed analysis of newspaper stories this morning on Freshly Pressed 91. Thank you, Rotus.
Thank you, Olamide.
Good morning. Thank you,
Now
Olamide.
you've exposed me to the public that I don't see.
You didn't realize it now.
Bye.
I'll tweet it. It's not a big deal.